Knicks family, welcome back to the God of Knicks podcast. I'm your host Apollo Reed. We got a full house in here tonight. That pardon me for my excitement. You know, this is the first time we've got everybody in here together, and we got plus one today. We got Phil of the Knicks Morning Brew. How you doing today, man? How you feeling? How you feeling?
I'm good, man. You know, it was a little bit of a disappointing loss, so I know everyone's got a lot to talk about today. But I'm thankful to be on the podcast, so I appreciate you guys. Been checking you guys out for a while, so being able to actually connect and talk to you guys in person, or kind of in person, is an honor. So I appreciate you guys.
Right, man. Appreciate you reaching out. Appreciate you coming on, man, and taking the time out to jump on with us.
In this day and age, this is in person. This is how it goes after COVID. Right. This is in person. This is how it goes.
This is real life now. So everybody else, the rest of you guys, man, how's it? Just jump in. How you feeling? How's it been? How you doing?
I was trying to call one of the co-hosts on this show for his birthday. He didn't pick up the phone. Then I called him the next day, and he still didn't pick up the phone. Then he didn't come to my birthday little party shindig for my birthday.
Oh boy!
So he's cut off. Anytime he talks, I'm gonna talk over him.
All right. The caveat is recently
he's not lying though.
My cousin's birthday, Rick, was this past Thursday. Happy belated birthday to Rick, everybody.
Happy belated birthday, Ricky.
Thank you.
And followed by my brother's birthday on Saturday. So another clap up for
both guys are 27 years young.
27, boy. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to make it look good.
They're both younger than me somehow. I don't know how that happened, but we're gonna do it. Yeah, I'm gonna rock with it. Love y'all. Joe, how you been, man? How you feeling?
This is a rough one, bro.
He got a lot on his mind.
I do, man. I do.
We need to start with Joe.
All right. So can we just get right into it?
Yeah, Rick, right. You have anything to say, Rick?
No, I'm good.
All right.
Happy birthday, Joe.
All right.
Thank you.
So after the game, I'm just scrolling, right? Just to scroll. Like, I know I got like 5 minutes before I needed to come on here. So I'm just scrolling, and then I just see like one after another Knicks fans blaming this game. And if I'm wrong, somebody please interrupt. Blaming this game on Julius Randle. Julius disappeared in the fourth. Julius didn't do anything in the fourth. And it's just like the guy checked back in with like 7 minutes left, right? I always tell Knicks fans, you hear me say this all the time on this very show. The other team is not going to allow you to do what you want to do. The Wolves were not going to allow Randle to score 26 points in the fourth quarter. You know what I mean? Like, it just wasn't going to happen. So the idea that like Julius disappeared in the fourth, no, the Wolves took him away. Quickly's got to hit his open shots. He had a couple of good looks and didn't knock him down. I felt like, who was it? Jalen had a bunny that he missed in the paint, which I thought was a big shot. I think that shot would have tied it. Like, so there's other stuff happening.
Right.
Yeah, he always makes that shot.
But
so it's like
still the one scoring. He still got that 3-point play down the stretch.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't on his fault. It was a sloppy fourth quarter from like the whole thing.
The Knicks were sloppy all night. They turned it over way more than they normally do.
Yeah.
Right.
And if you turn it over, like Tibbs says, turnovers, low turnovers, rebound the ball, and you play defense, you'll win games. The Knicks didn't play defense. They weren't really on the offensive glass like they normally are tonight. Hold on. They weren't on the offensive glass like they normally are, and they turned it over. So that equals a loss. But I'm not gonna pin it on Julius. No way. Nah. Not tonight, man. Not tonight, yo. Not tonight.
We're not in that game if it wasn't for Julius.
I disagree. I think we should completely blame Julius Randle. How dare he make a career night
56
and score so many points?
Right.
I mean, how dare you?
And not finish it off.
Exactly. That's how they sound. That's exactly how they sound.
How dare he score 56 points?
He should have done more.
I guess what bothers me is like if we would have won this game, like nobody would have had exactly. Yeah. So it's like, the other team has a say. That's all I'm saying is the other team has a say.
Right.
And I leave it at that.
Well, the moral to the story,
and credit to the Wolves tonight. They played a hell of a game.
Yeah, well, at the end of the day, Joe, you got to stop scrolling after the game.
I do. I
Yeah,
really do, yo.
Big
Big facts.
You
Big facts.
You can fall into a trap there. Jose Garcia says Randall was exhausted from shooting so much. I mean, at the end, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't think he was exhausted. I think the Wolves said you're not going to be the guy in the fourth quarter. Period.
Facts. Brew Crew Sports. Shout out to the Pan for
Brew Crew
having a Brew Crew on. What's going on, man? Well, shout out to you guys, man.
Shout out, guys.
So speaking of, while we on the topic of, or while we're talking about the Brew Crew, Phil, how do you feel about? Well, tell me what you saw tonight. You know, general summary of what you thought.
Yeah. So first topic, based off what you guys are talking about Julius Randle in the third. You know, I was posting that this could be the greatest offensive game that I've seen from Julius Randle, based off his shot selection, based off of him being willing to give up the ball when he didn't have the best shot. But I think both statements can be true. I think you can say that his offensive game and some of his decisions kind of disappeared in the fourth quarter, but still not blame the loss on Julius Randle, because it wasn't all on Julius Randle.
Like, absolutely not. I agree with that.
Such as, you know, it's never a good look when Julius Randle's guarded heavily to go behind the back for a dribble. Like, we've never seen that in all of the years that we've seen Julius Randle.
It doesn't turn out well.
Never seen that work out well. Like, it's never been like, he did the behind the back. You know, we love it. We all kind of get anxious when we see that. We're like, what's going to happen here? So things like that were obviously not the best looks for him.
Right.
But if you're going to blame anybody, you got to blame the whole team. You had guys like Grimes. As much as I love Grimes was not there tonight. Like, Grimes did not show up. He had a few clutch threes, but that's about it. That's why he didn't get a lot of playing time.
Yeah, one. That's
Brunson,
it.
Yeah, one.
The only shot he took.
Yeah. Jalen Brunson, you know, like, he was incredible as always, but he had very clutch baskets that he missed down the stretch. RJ Barrett, his shooting percentage was great, but like we said in our chat a little bit earlier, he was doubting himself. So he didn't take a bunch of shots. All the shots he took looked great. They were effective, but he didn't shoot a lot. So when he's not putting up baskets, it can't really help us on the scoreboard. And so what I had talked about earlier, I had released a short talking about RJ Barrett's last game. And I was talking about how our biggest strength is that RJ Barrett's not a number one. The fact that he is our number three, because not a lot of teams have a number three that can show up and play well when our one and our two get locked down defensively. Unfortunately, we didn't see that. In the fourth quarter, when we got locked down on Jalen Brunson and the defense turned up on Randle, RJ Barrett was not, unfortunately, putting in the baskets that we needed to see from him. But I'm still, you know, even though we took an L, you know, I've been loving seeing the heart-to-heart connection over these last few games. The Josh Hart and Hartenstein combination has been incredible, the way that they look for each other. Seeing that the team is starting to look for Obi again on lobs is a good thing. That's definitely something you want to see. So overall, I thought it was unfortunate that we lost to a Timberwolves without their main two guys. Like, that's a hard L to walk away with. But no one played defense. You know, Frazier said it. You know, he's like, if you want to see an offensive game, you are loving it right now. If you love watching defense, this is a painful game to watch. Yeah, and it was, you know, so that's what it comes down to. It was poor defense on both ends. They just wound up getting more buckets. When you have a guy like Taurean Prince all of a sudden look like he's Larry Bird from three-point land, like, what are you going to do? Like, he's going to have a stellar game like that. You know, our defense needed to be there.
Yeah, man, it was very, very hard for me to watch from the beginning, because they started off, I think, like 10 for 10 or 11 for 11 or something like that. They didn't miss a shot. Like, everything they put up, they made. Gobert's making free throws. Like, they literally could not miss anything. It was crazy. It was really annoying.
Making free throws. Like,
it's like, come on, like, what's going on?
It was like the game came from the heavens for, like, Minnesota, because I was like with the Taurean Prince knocking down. What was he? 8 for 8.
It was 8 for 8 from the thing.
And it's just like, all right, this is just one of those nights.
Just one of those nights.
These dudes are on it, like, because, you know, Taurean Prince ain't no 8 for 8 kind of. This is just his night. You know, on a normal night, he might be, because 4 for 4 would have been like a a good night for him.
Yeah.
But
Right.
3 for, you know what I mean? 3 for 5 would have been like, okay, like that. So now we in the game. So it was just one of those. It seemed like we ran out of steam at the end.
Right.
No big deal. You know, I'm really happy with where the Knicks are. I was looking at what team that I was looking. I was like, oh shoot. I was like, the Knicks are better than them. I think it was like the Suns. I was like, we got a better record than a lot of teams in the league. The Knicks are doing good, and I'm excited. It was one of those games. You know, we can't win them all. We should have won this. You know, considering we beating the best team in the West and all of this stuff going on. So a game like this, it's like at home, it's a rough one. But I like Joe said before, we can't put it on any one person. But it's just how the cookie crumbles.
I thought the biggest play. I thought the biggest play of the game was that quickly foul.
Oh, when that was big because he got hit in the eye. When he got hit in the face, he hit him in the back of the head when he came back down. When that he bumped into him
when he got fouled in the 3. You mean?
Conley.
When he fouled Conley on the 3.
He fouled Conley
on the screen.
He
on the screen.
And then he bumped him, and he went like this, and Conley hit him in the head, like not on purpose, but that's just a play, just for
that was a swing play. Yeah,
that was a big.
I thought that was a huge play because Conley goes to the line and hits all 3, puts them up 1, and they never look back.
Yeah, that was it. That was the.
What about the push off at the very end against Brunson?
That was the back goal.
Yeah, I was going to say two push offs.
Definitely 2 push offs.
That was a surprise no call.
Benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, that was a surprise no call, and that's why Randall, I think he was so upset because they was trying to catch the Knicks with that all night.
Right.
Because Randall had a call earlier in the game where they called an offensive foul and he didn't touch the guy.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah. It was the officiating was very, very odd tonight.
It was weird.
It was very, very weird and frustrating. I knew whenever we go against Gobert and you have a team that primarily gets a lot of their buckets in the paint, this is kind of what you're gonna get. Like these guys are gonna struggle. There was times where Brunson gets to the paint and then he sees Gobert and he's looking to pass. Quickly.
Yeah.
He sees Gobert, he's passing it out.
Well, that's a Gobert type of
right.
I thought Gobert was terrific tonight, man.
Yeah, he was amazing because he didn't have to actually block many shots. He was just there to be a presence.
You just know it's coming. That's why everybody's trying to get it because usually Brunson does the little fake and he go back.
Yes, I mean they only took 8 shots.
We caught up when he went to the bench. That's when the Knicks started attacking the basket, getting layups and everything like that, and scoring in the paint. They put him back out there. It was like, no, go back out there now. And so that was a smart play on the coach's part because that was the big reason why they started to score. And not to mention, did we mention Taurean Prince went 8 for 8 on the night?
8 for 8, 35.
Don't forget, he only missed 1 shot. Only one shot in total, and one free throw.
Oh my goodness.
Ridiculous, man.
There was one point in the first half where he said, I didn't even realize it because you're not looking at the numbers, but he said the Knicks are shooting 60-something% and they down 15 points.
Yo, because they were just on fire and they kept saying it. They can't play like this all game, can they?
Right.
And they did. For some odd reason, they were on fire all night long.
Yeah, it was just one of those nights. It was just one of those nights. Their star sitting on the bench. Their star young player sitting on the bench. It's kind of like
stars.
2 of them. Yeah, Cat.
And then the biggest play for me at the end was that drive by Taurean Prince. I think if he misses that and we get the rebound and we go back and
that was after we had the rebound. Julius got to squeeze that, man.
He's got to squeeze.
He was there like he thought it was his, and somebody else knocked it.
Yeah, it was way too nonchalant, man.
In the game, you got to grab that ball, man, and come down with it. Like that's it. You can't just come down and.
Yeah, I think he was already in his next play.
He was already heading down the court.
That's one thing I love about Mitch, man. He rebound with 2 hands.
The thing
secures the ball.
One thing about Mitch, I'm starting to realize he fumbles the ball a lot when they give him drop offs. If it's not an alley, he kind of struggles with drop offs. I don't know.
It seemed like because we talked about that before. I think Ricky pointed out that he's looking up for the offensive rebound.
Yeah, every time.
And guys are just dropping it off to him, and he's not expecting it.
Well, sometimes he's actually like tonight quickly gave him a pass, it was like a damn man chest pass.
Yeah,
he was like. And I'm like,
he ain't ready for it. But that's what he was complaining about. He's doing cardio, and he's not not expecting it now. So,
right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But my favorite rebound on the Knicks, whatever it is, Josh Hart. This dude is like going after everything. Either he's getting the rebound or he's right there.
Still my favorite Knick, man. That's my favorite Knick.
Yeah, that boy right there plays. We got some games. You know, he does those little turnovers where they steal it. He steals it back somehow. It's just like he's the best at that. Like
he never gives up. He never gives up on a play. He's
I love
certain guys like they make a defensive mistake and then they just start jogging back for defense. Like, nah, he's right on it. Like I
love that. I love that dude.
Like I said, bro, you never gonna. Nobody's ever gonna want it more than Josh Hart. You don't have to worry about that.
Right.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
He went close to close, almost back to back tonight.
You know what I would like to see though, man? I would like to see the Knicks. Like, I feel like they get in these games at the end of games. I feel like they slow it down too much.
Right.
If you look in the third quarter, and usually when they're thriving, it's because they're pushing the pace.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's 5 minutes left. It's not. You can't shut it. You can't shut it down with 5 minutes left.
But hold up, Joe. I've been saying this for years.
Yeah, they do it all the time.
Who the coach is? It's like, all right, we win in the game, and now it's just like he's standing.
Prevent offense. The prevent offense.
And then it's just like that's when they start losing because they start slowing down the pace. That momentum they lose because now it's like they're not playing basketball anymore. They playing basketball, but they playing like a different brand all of a sudden.
Yeah. Right.
And we get to this place where it's like, all right, now if that didn't work, now everybody's going like this. You got the paint, they trying to throw it, and it just turns into this now 24-second clock violation, and it's just like all of this craziness happens. And like forever, it just seems like I don't know what it is. Like just run the play. Let's go in it. Like you said, 5 minutes is nothing. You can't start shutting it down 4 minutes. It's like an eternity.
Right.
In the NBA. You could come back with a 20-point deficit with that kind of time in today's NBA.
Another number that stood out to me, like, you know, especially because we only lost by 6 points, is the fact that they had 17 second chance points and we only had 6. You know what I mean? And that's
because they were knocking everything down. Let me what's the plus minus on the game today?
Huh?
What's the plus minus? You got them numbers up there? I want to see who.
The Knicks did not have not one guy with a plus minus tonight.
Get out of here.
How?
Swear to God, not one guy.
Look, it's there. The closest was Mitchell Robinson with 0.
Oh,
I think Mitch and somebody, Mitch and Toppin both had 0.
Dang. Wow, you got Jalen with -8. He's wow. At least this ain't Hart. Well, Hartenstein, you know, they said he usually has. He may not score, but he'll have like the highest plus minus.
Right.
So tonight was one of those just outliers. You know what I mean? It wasn't really like who the Knicks are, and we only lost by 6 points.
Tonight was a weird game, bro. Like, the way the Wolves shot it was just absurd. Like, there's no other word to describe it.
Career night for Taurean Prince. And that's it. Like, literally, if he did not have the night that he had, if he missed 2 of those 3-pointers, this is a different game. He was 8 for 8 from 3. Like, that just changes the entire outlook of the game, man. I mean,
it's like Phil pointed out. This was more of an offensive game because if you look at the final score, 134 to 140, that's
crazy.
That's too high.
Well, also credit to the Knicks for being down in this game and actually for being down in this game and coming back and actually making this and taking the lead.
Yeah,
they had the lead. They had a
game,
lead, man, and then they just lost it at the end. I think they just started to go away from what was working a little bit, and they were too nonchalant about keeping that lead. And you know, turnovers. That's the easiest way.
Way too many of those tonight, man.
That momentum will just drain right out the window if you do that. So
if you look at the minutes, I could understand Julius and Jalen being tired also.
Right.
They played a lot of minutes. That's like, you know, almost like a full game, not full game, but
I mean, but we've seen Julius 40, 50-minute games. Like, I think Julius, that's why I'm saying, like, when it comes to being tired, I think Julius, this is the normal game for Julius.
Yeah, I told you, bro. This guy, to me, bro, I know that people look at it like, oh, he's gassed. I don't think he was gassed in the fourth quarter.
He was mad.
I just think that the Wolves was just like, dude, not tonight, not in the fourth, bro.
The thing that scares me, though, but it don't even take a good team because one thing, my biggest complaint with Julius is usually just about every game is him putting the ball on the floor. He doesn't have the handle to be running out. They're giving him the ball at the top. I'm like, why is he the man handling the rock right now? I just anybody but him up there handling the rock. So he starts doing behind the back. He's turning and spinning. You can see teams are waiting for him to spin now. Right.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever see it. They got the guy on the help. He don't really help. He just waiting for him to spin. As soon as he spins, they get right in there.
They wait for him. As soon as he turns his back in a post, you turn your back to
That's
another
it.
guy. That guy's coming right over his shoulder.
Yeah, so a lot of times it was like the typical Randall, like he turns around, he'll spin, he's starting to dribble, and he doesn't have the handle for that. I just don't understand what it is with the game and the balance. And the ball is in his hand early. I know he's our star.
Yeah.
Or one of our stars, and you can't just tell him, just cut him off. But yo, give the rock and give it to him low in the post. Like he's way high in the post. Like he's posting dudes right in front of the 3-point line.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's like way too early. I don't know. That part right there, that always scares me. Because you see him, they dribbling up the court after they score, they giving it to him before they cross half court. I'm like, why is a power forward bringing it up? We got Brunson, you got Hart, you got Quickly.
Well, there was some plays, credit to Julius, where he grabbed the ball and he saw Jalen and he throws the ball right to Jalen.
And that's fine, but it's when it's when he goes into that point forward
mode,
like mentality that we've all been ecstatic that he's moved out of. Like he's not an Anthony Mason. He's not going to throw it through his legs, get past people and drive to the bucket. He's not that kind of player. And so it kind of goes hand in hand with what you guys were saying earlier about how they went away from what was working in the third. In the third, we were fast-paced. The guards had the ball. They were able to find Julius Randle in the best positions for him. Then we slow it down, and we pretty much make our offense predictable, especially with Julius Randle bringing down the ball as much as he did. Like, we're saying, hey, now's your chance to double-team him and stop what we have. And it completely stops the momentum. Like, you see guys that thrive in the fast pace, like Josh Hart and Emmanuel Quickly, now just being stagnant, waiting to get the ball to figure out what to do, because now it's moving through a slow Julius Randle offense. And that's the problem. The last time you want to get predictable is in the fourth quarter, when you need to be unpredictable, where you need to get buckets creatively.
Like, to me, when they push the pace, it causes all kinds of chaos, man.
And you know
and they go, even there was one play where RJ pushed the pace and he almost turned it over. He almost turned it over. And it gets kicked into the corner for a quickly 3. And it's like, even though I don't know what the hell RJ was trying to accomplish, it turned into something positive because they pushed the pace, because the Wolves were out of position. Right. So I love when this team plays fast.
Right, and Rudy Gobert, somebody their best defenders, is too slow to keep up with that kind of a thing. And
exactly.
He out really fast. And
so when you let them set their defense with this guy, man.
Yeah, and then he could get rebounds and everything. He's a dangerous dude to let get comfortable. And one guy I saw pushing the pace, trying to push the pace, was Josh Hart. He went down there, he would dribble, and he would just get these layups. And I'm like, see, he gets it. He understands how the game goes. But yeah, they were slowing it down. And like you said, with Gobert down there, it makes it really tough to get settled and to score. Because anything you got to do, if you're trying to get to the basket, Gobert is just going to ruin that for you.
He's right there. He's right there every single time. And that's the problem that you're going to run into in the playoffs if you have a team that has one of those defense. That's why we don't want to see Milwaukee. We don't want anything to do with Giannis and
I'm good.
Giannis Lopez is probably the scariest thing that could happen to us in the playoffs.
But if we have aspirations to get to the second round, I mean, that's probably what we're going to see.
More than likely, that's probably where it'll end. Like, you know, I'm just being real.
All right, stop. Because
I'm just talking.
I do this in my head every single day. Let's stop.
Well, we're talking about
take care of round one first.
No, it's matchups. It's matchups. As long as we don't got to play those kind of guys, and because we're not gonna. If we end up playing against the Cavs, that they don't have that kind of lineup. You know what I mean?
They kind of do. I mean, Jared Allen is. But if you get Jared really good, bro.
It's easier to get him in foul trouble than Gobert.
He a good matchup with Mitch. I like that matchup.
But like I said, it's easier to get him in foul trouble than it is Gobert. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a different kind of defensive matchup. And it's not like he has like the best defensive lockup guy next to him in Evan Mobley. He's more of an offensive guy. He's serviceable on defense, but you know he's not like the Twin Towers in Milwaukee or even like we saw tonight. So that's probably why we probably can make something happen in the first round there. But until we consistently knock down threes at a higher clip, and that's part of the fabric of our offense, and that's not just something that we can do depending on the night.
I mean, 14 to 28 tonight.
Yeah, for sure. Like for sure. But
They just couldn't stop nobody.
Yeah, they couldn't stop anybody. That's the other side of the coin. Like you can't let guys like Torian Prince go off and have 35 points, 8 for 8 from the 3-point line. That just can't happen.
Why does that happen to the Knicks? Where you get the guy like you forgot he was in the NBA.
It don't just happen to the Knicks, though.
Nah, it's the Garden. It happens to the Knicks. It's the Garden.
I know it happens. What I'm saying is that it happens to other teams too. You just don't watch other teams.
Yeah, but it happens all the time in the Garden. Right? It doesn't happen when we're in their town.
Yeah,
like, we shut them down there. Exactly. But when they come here, they want that shine, and we gift it to them time and time again. You get
because I'm like, why is he open?
You get guys like Niang from the Sixers coming to town, and all of a sudden he looks like Reggie.
Yeah,
Miller.
man, it's crazy, bro.
He's like Reggie Miller.
Yo, Niang does it every single
like Reggie. No, like that's Niang.
Right?
And it's almost like we haven't learned at all.
But that was Reggie.
Dre is ridiculous. Yeah.
He's funny, bro. He's a funny dude.
Indiana? But Phil, it's true. It's just like we get these games where you get somebody who hasn't played or they just come back from like an injury or something and they just going off and then nobody's defending them.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
We had Ricky Rubio go off in the Garden.
Yo, that's what this game tonight from Prince reminded me of the Ricky Rubio game. Where Rubio just couldn't miss anything.
This dude is resurrected, man.
Like, what a game, bro. Like, what a game from him tonight. I mean,
Rubio. It's like, what do we
do? Listen, man. I'm one that like to give credit, yo. I thought the Wolves played a hell of a game, bro.
Yeah. They did.
Yeah, they were all right. But
they had a good. They had like one of those.
These are all of the shots.
They'll never have a game like that again. I'm willing to bet money Torian Prince will never have a game like this
ever.
Yo, bro, they came into our building. and they beat us fair and square, bro.
Yeah. They had a perfect. This ain't gonna happen.
I wouldn't say fair and square the way the refs were acting tonight, but
the refs are always.
Don't give me that, man.
I know I don't bring the refs up. You know I don't ever.
Don't give me that. The Knicks lost this game. The refs didn't.
Lost because of our defense.
They did, but we had.
Yeah, exactly.
The fact that you got guys like Kyle Anderson that look like you're watching the game in slow-mo repeat, and he's actually in real time, and he is scoring, and he is able to defend our guys. That just
he's gonna lay it like this.
Yeah, like he moves like Jokic without any Jokic skill whatsoever.
That shot right there in the corner from Prince was ridiculous,
yeah.
Yeah, it was just nice. I hate watching him play ball, but you gotta respect it because it works, man. This guy, his name is slow mo, and that you know that he's gonna go slow on a play, but yet he still gets you every single time. I was saying to myself, if he didn't have that height, he would not be as impactful as he is.
Yo, Torian Prince didn't touch the rim all night, yeah. All these shits are splash, yo. Splash.
Why would you?
It was one of those.
Why wouldn't you keep shooting? You keep shooting.
It was one of those nights for him, man. And
absolutely.
At that point, you gotta let it fly every single time. And I don't even blame these guys for feeling however they want to feel about this game because they just wouldn't miss. Like there's only but certain, like Jalen Brunson is trying. You saw on all of those shots, Jalen Brunson is there. Like it's like
that's something else I wanted to talk about. That's something else I wanted to talk about. I don't know. So a lot of the time, and most nights it works out fine because he's not terrible. But tonight, like the Knicks was trying to hide Jalen on Jaden McDaniels.
They were.
And Jaden McDaniels is too good to hide Brunson.
I saw that and I was like, 6'9"? I don't know about that.
like I know he's not the greatest point of attack defender, but I almost feel like they would have been better off just having him out there on Conley than trying to put him on this guy. You know what I mean? He's just too good. He's got a little bit too much game and too much size to just throw Jalen on him.
He got away with the push off too. That was one of those.
It doesn't help when the ref is letting them, push the guy around.
There was two of those, and I think the verdict is out on him because they've been watching this game. They know he does kind of like, I wouldn't say he flops, but he sells it. He sells it. So they're trying not to get caught in the sell. But you gotta give.
Nah, don't tell me that. Not after I watched these guys buy everything that Marcus Smart was selling a couple of weeks ago. In Boston. Listen, they bought everything he was selling, man. Yeah, so don't tell me that.
You got that too, kid? that too? Let me get that one right there. Give me that one.
Marcus Smart is like a pawn shop.
Yeah, that dude he was selling snake oil all night that night, and they gave him every call, man.
I'm telling you, bro. Every single time he wants anything, they like, yo, you got it, bro.
He was working hard one night, and that was a fail. You saw that he went over the pick. He got a little bump. He tried to sell that. He didn't get that one.
That didn't work. One thing about Josh Hart that I do want to mention, and he's, like I said, is my favorite Knick, obviously, as my guy. But the thing about Josh Hart that does kind of tick me off a little bit sometimes is that he just doesn't take the shot.
Oh, I knew you was going to say that, bro. He don't let it fly, bro.
Doesn't take the shot. There's a shot there for him often, night after night, and he doesn't take it. Now, credit to him for looking for the better shot. But sometimes we just need you to take the shot. You know what I'm saying?
And you know what happens a lot of the times, like he'll pass up on what was the best shot of the possession, and we won't get another one. It'll end up being like them throwing a grenade to Julius with like 5 seconds left and saying, "Yo, go do something." Right. And then Knicks fans will attack Julius for getting the ball with 4 seconds on the clock and taking a bad shot.
Throwing it up because he got to.
Right. Like, yo, what kind of shot was that, Julius? But you didn't realize what.
The ball just got dumped to him with 5 seconds left at the top of the key. Right.
So, like, I mean, I do appreciate him for looking for the right pass, but sometimes, like I said, like when we're getting it to you in this offense, when you have 2 to 3 feet, 4 feet of a space between you and the defender, and he's not a terrible 3-point shooter on top of it.
Cuz.
What, Ricky?
You said that Josh Hart is your favorite Knick.
Yo, bro,
right?
Listen,
I think that was echoed, right? Somebody who else said that?
He did say that.
Let him play his game. If you don't want to take a shot, don't take the shot.
Probably
not a good shot. Bro. You're probably gonna miss it, and then you know what you're gonna end up saying? Yo, why Josh Hart taking these shots?
If Josh Hart is open, I want him to take the shot.
I want you to take. I will never be mad at you for taking an open shot. I don't care. That's why sometimes I don't get mad at RJ, because 90% of the time he's wide open. Like, they're not gonna guard him. But
he takes his shots. He may not take every single shot because, like you said, he's looking for the better shot. But if he don't feel it, I don't want you taking it. You got to believe every shot you put up.
The truth is in the middle, though. Like, not forcing shots and making wise decisions is a huge, strong, plus for him. That's a strength of his.
Absolutely.
However, when you're a guy who has been on fire from 3 as a Knick, I think he's shooting at least 50 to 60%.
Yeah, like something like that.
Games like tonight where you have wide open 3 attempts and you take none of them,
0.
That's huge. Michael Jordan said it best. You miss all the shots.
100% of the shots you don't take.
Right.
You don't take. You miss 100%.
But if he feels like he's going to miss 100% of the shots he does take, don't take.
But Ricky,
if you're going to get something that is a guaranteed bucket and you see that, then that's wisdom. But a lot of times it's I'm going to not shoot it, try to find something else, and then there's not something.
There's nothing.
So that 3 or that 2 would have been a possible guaranteed bucket.
You're not
preach
wrong.
it.
You're not wrong, but at the same time, the shooter, he's in that position. If he don't feel like that's the move to make,
that's bad. It's bad offense. It's bad offense, Ricky.
But Ricky, I don't think that's why he's not shooting it. I don't think he's doing it.
It's bad offense, Ricky.
I just think that he's doing because he knows there's other people on the team who can shoot.
Absolutely.
He don't want to be the guy. I don't think it's that he's even doubting himself. I just think that he's trying to fit in his role.
Exactly, and that's where we want him.
But that's like, all right, playing devil's advocate. When RJ Barrett was shooting like 8% from 3-point, and all of us would see him go to take a 3-pointer, and we're like, "Holy crap! Stop
you scared
it, give it up." And then you had the group of people that are like, "Oh, just let the shooter figure it out." And I'm like, "No, the shooter, if he hasn't figured it out by now that he's shooting 8% for 3-point for the last 5 games, like I don't want the shooter to figure it out because he's oblivious to what's there." So same thing with Josh Hart. Like, yes, be wise as the player you are because that's your strength, but also have a little bit of confidence in the fact that you have done amazing, and you look at the numbers, they've been there. So to second guess himself for something that's not a guarantee is the thing where you got to kind of challenge it a little bit and be like, you got this.
And Phil, to piggyback off that, he's a career 36% 3-point shooter. Right. Like, let that shit fly, bruh.
Yeah. But all I'm saying is there's a reason why he is shooting the way he is.
It's bad offense, though, Ricky.
Yo, listen, the point of swinging the ball to the open shooter is if they shoot the ball.
It's for the open shooter to shoot it, bro. You can't just not shoot it.
Not reset.
Because now you got Mitchell Robinson because he think you're gonna shoot the wide open 3. He under the basket. He under the basket. Yeah, getting a 3-second violation because he's looking up. Like, you got to shoot the rock, yo. Got to shoot the rock, bro.
Yo, it's crazy because he'll just start boxing out, and then the ball won't go up, and he's like, "That's it." And it's like,
got to shoot the rock, bro.
Got to shoot the rock, and sometimes, like, he does create an amazing play out of it. That happened earlier tonight. I forgot exactly what play it was, but it turned into a turnover for him. Matter of fact, I think it was his only turnover. Let me see.
Josh Hart?
Yeah, Josh Hart. Because it was kind of
turnover.
Yeah, it was kind of like, all right, well, I think you could have just.
We certainly ain't lose this game because of Josh Hart.
No, we didn't lose the game because of Josh Hart.
No,
absolutely, that's not even what the convo is now. But I do want to see him go getting a little bit more aggressive for just looking for a shot. Like, just in this clip that I'm going to show right now, he didn't even look at the basket, and that's kind of what. I'm talking about. It's like he gets the board and then it's like boom. Not that there was a shot there, but like, you know what I mean? Like, automatically, like, he didn't even think, he's just automatically gonna pass that out. And that's kind of what I'm talking about. Sometimes it's gonna lead to a turnover sometimes, but that doesn't always happen with him. To his credit, that's not something that we see often with him. But
listen, I'm not disagreeing with you. I just don't 100% agree.
Yo, speaking of hunting shots, right?
Because athletes, they're instinctual. So if they're not feeling it, the people that we complain about the most, who we know are not as talented, are the ones we say are low IQ players because they're thinking. Like the people who can assess the situation quickly and make good decisions, I think Josh Hart would fall under that category. So yeah, but there are some times where he should shoot the rock, but at the same time, you want him to be confident in the shots that he takes because those are the ones that you most likely will make.
Right, but the best guys always say,
figure it out.
You got to take those shots. You got to take those shots. But listen, this is not a big deal. I don't even know. This is not even a big deal.
No, it's not.
Because
it's
you're
not
trying
a big
to say
deal.
that it's Josh Hart, his fault that we lost.
Nah, that's not what we see.
Lost by 6 if he took those open 3-point
we
shots.
We do. I just want to see him. I want to see him.
That's not what I'm saying, bro.
I want to see him shoot the ball more, be more of a willing shooter is what I'm trying to say.
Right.
But speaking of hunting a shot, there was a play tonight, and this is why I need Quentin Grimes to like really, I don't know, just come more into his own. Because he had a play tonight in transition where it was literally him and Mike Conley. And he was going downhill and he just stops dead in his tracks, picks up his dribble and starts looking for somebody to pass the ball to. Like, yo,
last time he had the ball.
It probably was the last time he had the ball. But like you got a huge size advantage. You're going downhill. Like, you got to go at him, man.
Who's this?
So Quentin Grimes. He had a play. I want to say it was the end of the second. I want to say it was.
He didn't play a lot. I think they yanked him. Didn't they yank him like the second half of the game or like the fourth?
Well, he only played 21 minutes tonight.
Took one shot.
21 minutes.
And took one shot.
I remember him being on
and made that shot. You know, I think sometimes I don't know what it is with Grimes. I'm not sure if he's following too much into the game plan. Like sometimes you can bend the rules a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like I think quickly it started to branch off into the point where he's gonna start bending the rules more often than not. Like you start to see it in his game now, where he's like, "All right, move, Julius." You know what I'm saying? Like you're starting to see it in him. Like, all right, like now I'm gonna take the shot. This is my play. Like I'm quickly takes dumb shots now. Sometimes I'm like, it's progress. Like you know what I mean? Like he's waving off Julius to do it.
How many years is this now for Quickly? Is this his third?
Yeah, year 3.
Yeah.
So and I usually I get Grimes gets a pass from me, and I was saying this about Quickly earlier and about Obi Toppin, and I'm like, this is their third year, and you can see the growth because you can see that Quickly was hunting for all of those fouls, going to the basket and losing it, just trying to get those, and he's matured beyond that. And so I think Grimes' second season, he's gotten the start. He started off with an injury. And I just think I got all the excuses for Grimes. I think he's like one of those good boys. He's one of those good boys that wants to fit into the scheme. Like you said, Kat, he's not trying to go against what the scheme is or what coach wants and so forth and so on. Yeah. And sometimes to his detriment. You know what I mean? Like
and to be clear, like I'm good with Grimes. Everybody knows that. Y'all know how I feel about Quentin Grimes. But I see certain situations where it's just like, man, I wish he was a little bit more aggressive in that situation.
Be like a little crazier and just dunk on somebody. Just go for it, shoot it, like whatever it is. Like be a little bit more.
The same thing.
He's also only played 107 career games, so give him a break.
He's a young blood.
But 100%. The same thing we said about Hart, you know, it goes with him too. You know, like it's great that you shot 100%, but you shot one shot. Like you know, like we've seen how you are a better shooter. You know, when you're in your rhythm than at least 50-something% of our team, you know, so you shooting one shot doesn't really help us, you know, like because when you catch fire, that's a good thing, but we're not gonna know if you catch fire with one
Pudge, we not getting on that train, bro. That bench Quentin Grimes train, like
that's what he said.
I put it like we not hopping on that train, bro.
Listen, I put it up there on purpose to piss Joe off.
Yeah, bro. Like y'all know how I feel about that. We not hopping on that train, and I swear I'll disown anybody if any one of y'all hop on that train. I'm never talking to y'all again. Yeah, like, we not doing that. Yeah.
Y'all know who we could bench? Y'all know who we could bench?
Don't start. We're gonna get to RJ next. Andre.
What's up, Phil?
The thing about Grimes is it doesn't make sense to bench a player like Grimes because he fits a little more so in the starting lineup than he would in the bench.
100%.
Our biggest strength right now going into the playoffs is that our bench is better than 90% of the teams that we will go against. So it's our bench that's going to help us win games. If our bench is on, that is our biggest weapon. And so bringing Josh Hart, I think totally would ruin the actual essence of what our bench brings because we need that energy because the benches that we're going to compete against, they're not going to have that diehard dog mentality off the bench that Josh Hart is going to bring and the other guys are going to follow. So
Phil, you just want to do it. Phil, you just want to do. Phil, you just want to do the show, listen, bro. Yeah, he's a man of my heart.
For sure.
He's a man of my heart. Yeah.
And he's hitting all the points, bro.
Yo, Dre, who do you think we should bench?
Because that's really gonna be a conversation that will be here.
I'm curious.
I'm gonna say it like this. And I don't know if it's the bench thing because that's a whole other dynamic thing. But I do think in the offseason we need to really look at some players on the team and see what's going on. I mean, he just signed a new contract, so I'm not sure. But I'm off the RJ Barrett train like by a bunch, and I have been for a little while.
You've been off though. I think you've been off since.
I don't think he ever got on, man. He had the ticket. He had one foot on the first step, but he was just like,
the door. The door was like bing bong, and he's like, "No, man."
They stood in the back. I'm trying to kick him off before the doors close all the way. Like, boom, boom. Yeah, I don't know. Tell me what am I missing that you guys like? How do you guys feel? Like, what is it? Just a bad season? Say that again.
I think you're wrong.
Okay.
Solely for the fact that I talked about it earlier today. I think there's a huge difference from the expectations that we have for RJ Barrett because he was a number 3 pick.
Number 3 pick.
What we really have to realize is that even though he was a number 3 pick, our front office never had the intentions to give him the keys and to actually like focus on making him that guy and giving him all that attention. If you did, Julius Randle wouldn't came right after and been given the keys. And now even more so, Jalen Brunson. So if we're looking at RJ Barrett and comparing him to like a 1 or 2, then yeah, we got to ship him off. But if we look at a 3, I don't see many other teams.
He's not a bad third option.
No.
Yeah, I don't know many other teams that if you compare their third options to a RJ Barrett who is playing well, granted, he needs to be consistent. Like, I understand that. But if we can give Randall a reseason after last year, I think many players deserve a one more year to prove themselves kind of mentality, especially with him being a younger player and now just kind of figuring out who he is. Because if you look at it, you have Tibbs now saying he's not a shooter, he's a scorer. Well, if you look, Coach K said that way earlier about RJ's career and was saying, but RJ's not a shooter. He needs to be a scorer. That's who he is. Make him a scorer. So now that Tibbs is actually utilizing him for his strengths, you're starting to see games like his last one where he played stellar. So if he shows up in the playoffs with this kind of thing as our third option, then I definitely think he deserves another opportunity to prove himself because I don't know many threes who can hold a candle to what he's doing.
So Phil, I have this theory about basketball players that I like. It's like a personal thing. And I've said this on the show a bunch of times. It's like not even like forget about the 3 thing, because yes, that makes sense, right? That he's a letdown as far as number 3. My biggest thing with RJ Barrett is his consistency and his concrete feet. I think he's incredibly slow, and I think the reason why he was never given the keys is because I feel like the Knicks always saw what he's doing now, like what he is, his inconsistency, like him going to the basket. But like my theory is that look in your eye is kind of a thing. And like, I just want to see that fire in the eye, that desire. And I don't think RJ Barrett just doesn't have that kind of a thing. Like, even if you look at Julius Randle, he's walking around like he's like the shit. Like, he feels like he's him. Whether he's him or he's not, he's walking around like he is. When you see he scores and when he does this and he does that, he's got that little, I got this. Like, and it's good to see. No matter what it is, how the game turns out, you see he got it. RJ Barrett is not certain with himself. He doesn't have like that crazy enough because he can attack. The games that I love from RJ Barrett is when he's not shooting a lot of those threes and he's attacking the basket. But then he attacks the basket, then he's missing a lot of layups a lot of times for whatever reason, one reason or the other. So it's more about, I'm afraid we're gonna get into what is this, RJ's fourth season? Is this his third? This is his third season.
It's season 4.
Yeah, and that's the thing, because we were saying 1-2. We said his third season, he's going to come out, and then it's the 4th season is going to be, because we know how last year we got 4. Then we're going to go into the 5th year, and it's going to be this whole thing, the RJ Barrett project. Whether it's number 3, because I was comparing him, like you said, because he was the third pick, and before he was the third pick, they said he was supposed to be number 1 and number 2, because then Zion blew up, and then Ja Morant came, and so him being a 3, it was arguable he could have been a 2 or whatever the case may be. So yes, earlier on, but at this point, he's not even in the ballpark of Ja Morant. Like, you could just forget about that. I mean, except he's not carrying guns around in the club.
For me, here's the thing though, bro. For me, it's like, if we could get back that December version of RJ.
Last season, he was like the second half of this season, he went off.
Like, that December version of him before the hand injury, like, he was going crazy. Like, give me back that version of RJ. Tonight, what I seen though, one thing I was happy to see, because it's going to be very important in the playoffs. Like, this shit, it can't be understated how important it is. He hit a couple threes tonight. He has to hit threes in the playoffs if the Knicks are going to even have a chance. those 0 for 4s, 1 for 5s,
Is that gonna
1
happen?
for 6s, like
Is that gonna happen? Is he gonna show up and do that?
We don't
I
know.
hope so.
See,
I hope so, Dre.
I hope so too.
He has to, yeah. I mean, that's the thing about RJ with me is that I've always said is I feel like RJ is still in that stage of experimenting. Like I think once he's done,
he's experimenting, or the Knicks experimenting with him.
He's experimenting with his. I mean, he's 22. No one knows if you know who you are at 22 and you're comfortable at 22, I don't want you on my team.
LeBron James.
You say he's
He was 22 and he got better every year. But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm. But the point that I'm saying about RJ is, I think that he's not a 1 or 2. I think he's the perfect 3 at 22 years old. I think if you at the window that we have our team right now, I think that's probably where the frustration with RJ comes in, is because of our window. Now, everybody was fine with RJ at the end of the season last year. Like literally. We come to this year, we have Jalen.
Ain't he still the youngest player on this team?
We're not gonna go there because it doesn't matter now.
He's not.
He
RJ
is.
Barrett?
Well, besides Trevor Keels, but I don't count him.
Right.
RJ Barrett's he's literally the youngest player on the team. No cap, bro. You can look that up.
So, like I said, he has a lot of room.
Who's the youngest player on the Knicks? Trevor Keels, 19 years old. Miles McBride.
I just said besides Trevor Keels.
Miles McBride and Trevor Keels. It don't matter anyway. It really
okay, so Miles McBride is younger than him.
Like I said. So what I'm saying,
you're right though. It doesn't matter because it's year 4.
Because what I'm saying,
what are you saying though?
I know that at some point RJ Barrett is going to be the player that we want him to be, but it might not be here. You know what I'm saying? We don't have the patience for him because, like I said, at the end of the season last year, with the window that this team was in, I think it was okay for him. Like I said, we weren't complaining at the end of the season last year with the way RJ was playing. He was playing the way we wanted him to play on that trajectory up. Cool, perfect. Average 20 points a game, you're making your moves. Cool.
Yo, get out of here, bro.
So do you think this guy?
Hold on. Like I'm saying is, now when you have Jalen Brunson and
oh my God,
and now the window looks like, hold up, if things go perfect, let's just say things go perfect, we can end up in the Eastern Conference Finals, right? That is a completely different window from the end of last season. So now what we need from RJ has completely changed from the end of the season last year to what it is now. And I think that's what we're caught in the middle of. Like, all right, we know you can be this player someday, but we don't have the patience. We don't have that time right now. The window has changed.
We gotta ban CIA, bro.
I haven't looked.
Yeah, especially you know why we gotta ban him, because the way he spelled Rucker.
I can't.
We gotta ban him, yeah.
I don't even know what he's saying. First of all, he
said Ben Tibbs.
First, he starts with this: someone in the locker room better slap box Tom Thibodeau. You've been going crazy.
He put Rucker.
So, wait, what did he say? He said bench Tibbs.
Bless you.
I just can't.
RJ
needs to grab a 4-year-old and go post at the Rucker.
Yeah, get him out of here, yeah. Get him out of here, bro.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with Tibbs. I think I was complaining about Tibbs for a little while, but y'all know about my gripes with Tibbs at different spots and the different rotations and things. But this year is not. I think Tibbs is doing a great job.
Yeah, I'm cool. I'm cool with Tibbs.
Because Tibbs is a good coach, y'all.
Yeah. In general, yeah.
Come on, Phil. Don't do that, man. Phil, we've been here all day. Don't do that, man.
Here's the thing. I'll give credit where it's due.
Mm-hmm.
He's made a lot of changes that have helped, and I'll give him the credit. The problem with Tibbs, which is, in my opinion, what we saw tonight in that fourth quarter, is that Tibbs is a pre-game coach more so than he is an in-game coach.
In-game adjustments. I've been saying this for a while.
In-game adjustments are his biggest thing. He always slows it down in the fourth. Today, that was the biggest thing. The biggest mistake was that we went into our typical slowdown mode in the fourth quarter. If Tibbs could figure out how to actually be a guy who can adjust on the fly, he would be a great coach. but he can't do that, and that's the problem. He does.
I would say
need the actual.
I agree with that,
and that's the problem. If he had someone even on his coaching staff that he respected enough to say, you know what, you're right, cool, I'll do that, but he doesn't, because his plan is gospel to him. That is the good news. That is the Bible, and he's going to adhere to it.
I'm the first person to say that my biggest knock on him is how rigid he could be. But I mean, listen, bro, like
I feel like he does something.
I'm giving him credit.
But top 10 all time in win percentage, guys. Like he's pretty good. He's pretty good. That's all I'm saying. Is he flawed? 100%. Yeah. Absolutely. But with those flaws also comes a lot of wins.
So this is the thing that was my concern in the playoffs last year. So in the final 5
playoffs last year.
Year before last, my bad. The last time we were in the playoffs. Thank you, Jay. Appreciate you. Love you, big bro. You always been there for me, man. That's why I love you. You know what I'm saying?
Love you too, man. For real.
But what I'm saying is he crap, I forgot my point, right? Just like that. Oh, the final 5 minutes and 14 seconds, we scored 7 points.
7 points.
That cannot happen in the playoffs. I don't care who we play. I don't care what the defensive scheme is. I don't care if they're running a zone. We have to find a way to get buckets, easy buckets. That's always been our problem, and that's why I don't care. When people say there's this thing going around, we talked about it earlier, Joe. Jalen Brunson's a ball hog. Get the ball out your hands, pass the rock. Now all of a sudden we're worried about Jalen Brunson being a ball hog. The fact
I don't know where that came from.
It's the fact that we can give somebody the ball.
I told y'all that was. But didn't I tell y'all that was coming though, y'all?
Sure.
I predicted this. I predicted that. Yeah, I predicted it on this very show.
Why you predicting that? You feel like he hold the ball on?
It's not. Listen,
I'm just asking.
So we were talking about we were talking about nitpicks on that show, right? Okay. Like what would be your biggest nitpick? And I said my biggest nitpick would be I would like for Jalen to maybe get off the ball a little faster sometimes.
Okay, so you recognize it too.
It's really like it's like the nitpick of all nitpicks, though, right?
Yeah. Right.
Like, but I knew that if things got tough, and I believe that if, let's say we lose a playoff series, let's say we start next year and we get off to a rough start next year. Mm-hmm. I believe that you're going to start seeing Knicks fans say that Jalen is kind of a ball hog. I didn't think I would start seeing it this season, though. I was shocked to see that. Mm-hmm. But I thought that it was something that was going to come later.
I will say this. I just want to go back to my RJ thing, and this is like in defense of RJ, is I think that with the lineup with him holding the ball, this is the first time that RJ Barrett has to make the adjustment he has to make, because now he was like the number 2, and that sometimes during the season last year he was like the number 1 guy. That's what it felt like. Him and Julius were going back and forth with who's 1 and who's 2.
Right.
And then, with Julius freezing him out, but he had a lot more play. But this year he is number 3. So sometimes he's not even part of the play. So in RJ Barrett's defense this season, he is like definitely the 3rd guy. And whenever he can get the rock up. So I just want to say to y'all, like, I do recognize that he has to adjust
But to the Knicks credit though, like his usage rate is not really all that different from last year. So he's still getting the ball, he's still getting his touches. Sometimes I think his shot attempts are almost the same as well.
But that also, see, all right, and that's a double-edged sword with that, because most of the reason why that usage is so high is because they do have him running a lot with the second unit.
Yeah.
They do have him running slow with that second
high unit.
and I gotta say that's also a credit to RJ to be able to be flexible like that. Coming to a team where you think you're going to be the 1, and in your 4th season you're the 3, and you're still playing well with your team. Like,
it's a little bit his fault though. But yeah,
it is. But being able to adjust like that, like what I always tell people when they talk about like the 3, I'm like, yes, Ja Morant is Ja Morant. But if we would have looked at it, we could have gotten that number 1 pick that year and had a player who's played 114 games in 4 seasons. So we still kind of lucked out a little bit when we look at that. Like all of our money could have been on a big old linebacker that's in street clothes every single week. But instead we got RJ Barrett. So when it comes to the Jalen Brunson thing, you guys don't obviously spend a ton of time on Twitter because within the first 4 games of Jalen Brunson's career, there was the talks of the ball hog. But there was a huge difference that kind of switched it. If you look at the first few games where Jalen Brunson, he had 2 stellar games off the bat, then he had a few strands of missed opportunities to win a game. He had a ton of turnovers, and it just wasn't working. So it looked a lot worse than when it actually started to gel. Because when you're in control of the actual offense and you're making wise decisions, having the ball in your hand isn't something that everyone's going to get upset about. Right. But when your turnovers are higher than your assists, then that's where people are going to be like, you're a freaking ball hog because you're not making the shots and you're turning the ball over nonstop. But that took a drastic change after about 8 to 10 games of him being on the Knicks. His percentage of his shot started going up, his assist ratio started going up, and he started looking like more of an all-around player for the team. So in that first few games, there was a little bit of bumpiness. If people are still saying that he's a ball hog, it doesn't.
I just
really
seen it the other day
because it's that's not merited, and they should just delete their social media because it doesn't make any sense at this point.
Yeah, I just seen it the other day, and I was just like, well, so it begins. But now you're telling me that it already begun.
Oh, it's resurrecting. It's not beginning.
Yeah, so it's been resurrected.
Isn't it his job?
This is what I'm saying. So if they don't want him to have the ball as much, whose hands?
Who do you want to have the ball? This is what I'm.
No, it's not so much that they don't want him to have the ball. I think some fans think that maybe he forces shots sometimes when he could have just passed somebody else.
Because the original definition of a point guard is someone that facilitates the offense.
Right. But this is 2023, bro.
Right. Exactly. If it's there.
Yeah. So when they see in their eyes, he's not facilitating offense. He's kind of score first, and then if it's not there, more so the traditional old school role of a shooting guard. So they're all like, yo, he doesn't pass the ball. But what they're not realizing is that when there is a better opportunity, he is passing the ball. But to them, they're just seeing shot attempts and consider that ball.
And really, though,
they say that about Steph Curry.
Oh, you could say that about every point guard now. I had a whole debate on one of our shows.
His fans say that he's a ball hog? Do they think that?
Well, no, because he's won 4 championships.
Nitpickers in the and Knicks fans are the biggest nitpickers in the world. We are.
We really are.
We can't even be happy. We got 40.
I'm realize about a lot of Knicks fans, and it's very disappointing. A lot of them don't know what the fuck they talking about. They're so emotional.
They really don't.
It really. Oh my God, Dre. Thank you, bro.
It's
the emotions. It's the emotions, bro. It's the emotions.
It gets ridiculous. I'm like, dude. So it's funny because like I said to you, you might have to turn off the stop scrolling through Twitter because it's one of those things. After the game turns, sometimes I don't even want to see the post game. Sometimes, you know what I mean? Because especially after a loss, I don't want to hear nothing. I'm like, let me turn this off.
Jalen definitely is trauma because we're so used to not having a team. We're so used to nitpicking the team that when we finally have a team that's playing well and firing at multiple cylinders, it's just like we need to complain, right?
We need something to talk about.
Right?
What'd you say, Kat?
Jalen Brunson had 10 assists tonight.
I didn't even realize he had 10 assists.
Quiet.
It's a very quiet 10 assists.
But at the end of the day,
you gotta have the ball in your hands.
Here's the thing, though. I'll tell you this.
Only 2 turnovers.
If we had 32 wins right now, I feel like that ball hog thing would have been like a big.
Oh man, would it have ever?
Oh, yeah. For sure.
If we were under 500, I think they'd have been saying all kinds of stuff about this guy, and I know it'd be Thibodeau. So I'm happy that to wrap things up because it's over an hour. Let me stop.
No fact.
I just think that if it was if we were losing the season, I think there'd be a lot
get
more.
Him. Yeah, I'm telling you, just block him, yeah. Just block him, bro. Tibbs get no cheeks.
He said, but it's obvious.
It's obvious.
Why is that funny?
I don't know. I don't even know why it's funny. Because I mean, like everybody knows that Tibbs.
Crazy. I think Tibbs got him lined up at the hotel.
It's funny because everybody knows that Tibbs is married to basketball. That's why it's hilarious.
That's funny because we know that he's a basketball savant. Like
he's in there looking at the stats, at the data.
Tibbs is working right now as we speak.
Good.
Yeah, seriously. That's literally all he does is study and sleep. Good.
I don't even think he sleeps.
That's probably why he's losing his hair so damn fast. But listen, I just it's a damn. I didn't mean it like that. So Wednesday we have the Miami Heat. We had a nice little Florida trip. Back to back against the Miami Heat and then the Orlando Magic. Very frustrated in fact that we lost tonight because of the standings are getting real tight. We went ahead over Brooklyn, and then I don't know how's it end up tonight after that.
Well, Brooklyn lost the other day, so that helped. They lost to Denver yesterday.
Yeah, we still got a sizable lead over Brooklyn. So we're playing Cleveland as it stands right now. And we got to keep, and more than the wins, I just think we have to continue to get chemistry and to work out all of these kinks. We can't have nights like tonight where you just let random guys go off. Well, these are one-off games, but you're going into a Miami Heat arena who I think this is the last time we played them. No, we have two more.
No, we played them two more times.
So, they want payback. Didn't we beat them the last time we played them?
Yeah, the last two times.
The last two times, man.
The last time was the crazy Julius shot to win it.
Oh man, yeah, they are not going to.
That was great. That was the game. We here.
It's gonna be fun. This is gonna be fun, man. So we have to get out there and lock down a lot of the things that we've been trying to work through. Get some chemistry back with Jalen Brunson because he's been injured and looked like he's doing all right tonight. But
I felt like Jalen was good tonight. I just felt like Gobert really changed the game when he came back in the fourth quarter.
For sure,
definitely.
Like it's crazy to see somebody change the game in the way he did without like blocking a shot or really like scoring or anything. But you could tell that the Knicks guards were aware of him. Just put it like that.
Right. Yeah.
For sure.
Well, one thing I can say is the rest of the season we don't play another team like that have two dominant or a big dominant big in there like that. Karl-Anthony Towns didn't play tonight. But Naz Reid was out there. He was doing pretty good too. Shout out to
Naz Reid is shout out to Jersey in the house.
Jersey boy in the house. But shit, man, we gotta go in there. We gotta go to Florida and get 2 wins somehow. And just do what we do best. Tibbs got to get back in that mode that he gets in when they lose and get pissed off, because that's the only time that these guys really lock in. When he's happy, that's when they start to calm down, and that's
I don't like smiling Tibbs, bro.
I don't like smiling Tibbs. But listen, that's all I got, man. Phil, thank you for coming out. Appreciate you.
Thank you guys for having me. Appreciate you.
Anytime, man.
Phil, anytime, man. Anytime.
Yeah, good shit tonight, Phil.
Anytime you want to come on, man, just hit me up, and
we'll definitely make it happen.
We'll make it happen, man.
Yeah, we replace one Phil for the other. We get rid of the other one over there on the side. You know what I mean? And we just have you host it.
Hey man, I thought it was Phil's show tonight.
Dre, we'll have you run it.
Yeah, nah, Phil will run it, man, because you've been.
I was ready to put Phil in that top left corner. Get Cap out of
there. See, that means you did a really good job today, Phil, man.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you guys for real.
Got my own panel wants to get rid of me. So listen, now you guys are all fired.
Only person they left is Ricky. Ricky ain't saying nothing.
I didn't say nothing. This one plays out.
He says, this one plays out. So listen, man, thank you guys for tuning in. If you're here in the chat, drop a like. Leave us a comment. If you're listening in podcast form, just hit us with a 5-star and leave a review, man. And that's pretty much all I got. You guys have anything else you want to say before we get out of here?
Nah, man. Let's go Knicks.
Let's go Knicks.
Peace, love, and orange and blue light.
And no emotional Knicks fans.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Hey man, well, good luck with that.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Good luck with that. That's in the fabric of who we are. So, but yeah, man, as we always end with, until next time, peace.
Peace.